Groovy.
Welcome to Horror After Midnight. I am your host, KC, joined tonight by Saul Guy. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good, man. I'm anxious and I'm excited for this one. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, or The Conjuring 3.
Whatever your preference is, whatever you want to call it, but the devil made us do it. Oh, man, dude. I'm stoked for this one. This one is actually a different one. Out of all of them, like, I was watching this, and when I was watching, I was like, man, dude, like, it's completely different. But, looking back at all the things with this is actually not James Wan's work. This is actually done by Michael Chavez. And the story is actually written by David Leslie Johnson. Those names you might remember from what we talked about, like through the whole Conjuring franchise, because I think some of them worked on the Annabelle films, the Nun films, things like that. But man, the thing that threw me off on this, dude, the numbers. The budget on this was $39 million. They started filming in 2019, and then it got pushed back a year because of COVID. But they still make away with gangbusters at like $202 million or $201.9 million. Like, that's insane for a COVID movie. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And, it's crazy because it's like, this was one of the very first few films that came out with Spiral and a bunch of other ones that were like, oh, you can see it in theaters or streaming. And it still made that amount of money, and just insane, dude. Insane.
Yeah, I'm not sure how, like, the whole, like, payment thing works with, like, HBO Max and the other streaming services, but it sounds like they did pretty well.
Oh, hell yeah. But, this one, I really did enjoy this one, man. What was your thoughts on it? Like, from the whole beginning, middle, end? Do you think that they actually, like, finished the whole Conjuring series, or this is just a scratch of the surface?
It's definitely not over. We'll talk about that towards the end, but for this one, it starts off with like some really amazing shots. That really creepy kid all twisted up like a pretzel. It's very story driven, but a lot different because this one's more of like an investigation kind of thing going on instead of like working on just getting like a house to be unpossessed or whatever. So it's very different. Like you were saying, James Wan didn't write it, so I can see why it's a lot different. But overall, I mean, it's still a really decent flick.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, they turned up the creep factor a little bit on this one for me. That beginning, I didn't think that they were going to actually show the whole possession, because I was thinking, okay, it's going to be like part 2. They're going to show that Lorraine, she sees it in her mind or whatever. And that's James Wan's take, where he does the thing where you basically let your mind, play it out, and less is more. He does a lot of the Hitchcock thing, but this actually showed it to you, and it showed the kid all possessed and contorting and all that shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? I mean, it was some scary
it was
shit.
Like the Exorcist Spider Walk book on like steroids. Like,
yeah.
Speaking of that, like I don't know if you noticed, but in the very beginning, when the it's like somebody's getting there. It's like one of the I can't remember. It's like the priest or somebody's arriving, and it looks just like the shot from The Exorcist.
Yes, I saw that. That was when the priest was coming up, and they showed the exact where he gets out of the taxi exactly the same way. And I go, oh shit, I see that wink right there. It was actually pretty cool because it's like the reviews on this film was kind of mixed. There was hit and miss. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated it, but I think the reason why a lot of people were just like in between with it is because James Wan didn't write the story. But I mean, even though he didn't write it, I love the fact that they actually, like you said, it's not where it's like trying to, clear up a house or whatever. They're actually trying to follow this person that's like trying to break this hex off of people. And I thought it was really cool and creepy because they did play some real shit off of there, like the witchcraft with the totem stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then like that one time, like she somehow like got that one dead body somehow possessed and brought back to life and was running through the damn morgue. Like,
oh, that I did not know what that was. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then all of a sudden, you see that possessed body, and then you see it again later on. Like, how the fuck did that body get over there?
Somehow, I guess the demon brought it back to life and was able to get it up and moving.
Oh my god, I know. But the twist in this whole story was I really like the fact that, for me, I don't know if it feels like it's the end, but they did play a lot of the stuff where it showed a lot of back history between Ed and Lorraine, how they first met. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. But then when they also started talking about like different cases, there was like a movie within a movie within a movie, and it
Yeah.
had a lot of like murder suspense to it. I think they basically toned it down for new audiences to come onto it, and then that way they backtrack because every horror franchise does that. There's always going to be that third one or the fourth one or whatever, a new trilogy that does that, bring people in. But this one I think is the one that did that. I thought the other cool little winks were is that all the actors, you can tell it's the same actors from all the Conjuring films that they had, like here and there. But then I
Yeah.
also thought was a cool little wink. I don't know if you caught it, but James Wan's wife is in here too.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was the I guess they had the best friends. She was the one that did the killing.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Oh shit," cuz she was the one that's also in Malignant. She was in The Nun. She was in some other ones that he did too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
But
seen it, so I didn't know.
oh man, dude, like she it's crazy cuz what was it? It's kind of like a wink back to Saw when they did that. They would have like different characters that they all associated with, and they would all follow into different films. And I kept thinking, like, why is she in all these films? Like, you know, she's not a big time actress. She's always doing all the cameo roles. Well, that's because it's his wife. I didn't even
Makes
think
sense.
about that.
Like a Rob Zombie type thing.
Kind of like that, but I mean, like she's not taking over the whole film. She's doing, you know,
Yeah,
cameo
true.
roles, which I thought was cool. But this one, you know, it took a dark twist to it. The thing that throws me for a spin was the lady a spirit or was she like an actually like a person? Then at the end, when she couldn't like do her weird shit and everything like that, then she got killed. That's the only thing that kind of confused me in the end of it.
Okay. Well, what I got from it was the daughter of the one preacher that Ed and Lorraine go visit.
Oh,
He
that weird guy.
supposedly was not allowed to have kids because he was a preacher, so he had to like hide her away from everybody and like pretend that she like wasn't like he didn't have a daughter, and then she basically like went to the dark side.
Oh shit. So oh shit, that almost sounds like a Star Wars reference right there.
Well, yeah, yeah, because I mean, he
Yeah,
was a preacher's daughter and ends up being evil and wanting to summon demons.
right? That's why I was like, what the hell? And, you know, and I thought watching this film, I was like, okay, this guy's a fucking weirdo, you know. And then the fact he was like, all right, nice to meet you. And then they're trying to shake his hands. He's like, I got chicken shit on my hands. But the thing that really threw me for a loop, why I didn't like him, was the fact that, you know, he's like, come on down, I got something to show you. And he had a basement set up, but his shit was all like red lights and everything. And Lorraine's
Yeah,
like, I don't want to go down there. I don't feel comfortable. And when they go in, you see all the demonic shit in there. And I'm like, oh man, dude, like, whew.
yeah, and he has like, books everywhere and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was like his own little mini collection. And I thought, oh shit, you could do just like 10 little mini movies just on his collection that right there that builds up to part three of Conjuring.
Yeah,
Yeah. But did you catch all the little winks they did to it?
probably not. I caught the Exorcist one, but that was about the only one I can remember.
Well, there's one that I caught, and it just caught me just by a fluke from watching. After Ed, I guess, has his cardiac issue or whatever, they show
Yeah.
that they're at home and he's getting flowers. And, you know, obviously he gets one flowers that they don't know about that had the totem and shit, but they also get flowers from the parent family from the first Conjuring.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's because she's like, "Oh, look what the parent family, you know, dropped off." I was like, "Oh shit!" So that was a cool little wink because this one takes place 1981. So this is obviously after. I'm trying to think of the timeline where it would fit in, and obviously after one, two, and three, and then after Annabelle comes home and all that, because they did make other references. But I love the fact that they actually use this kind of tied in with the real life case with it.
Yeah. This one in the timeline comes after all of them, being the last one that's been released so far.
That's
So
right.
that would
That's
make
right.
sense how they would know each other in this one.
That's right. That's right. You know, and the thing that was crazy about this film is that it kind of dived into that real life case with Arnie. And I thought, okay, based off of real events, da 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 da. I looked it up and I was just like, holy shit, they actually went through that in the case that said, hey, you know, he's not guilty because of demon possession. And they actually ran it through. And I think that's the only case that they ever ran it through. He still lost, you know, like it said in the movie, but they let him out after 5 years, which I thought was crazy. He murdered somebody, and they let him out in 5 years.
Yeah, they I guess dropped it down to manslaughter instead of murder in the first degree or whatever. They got a lot less time. What they said in the movie, it's only been tried to say that you were possessed by a demon or whatever to instead of being like guilty or not guilty or whatever over in England, like two different cases or something, but it was never done in America. Something like
Yeah.
that. What they said.
And that's crazy to think about it, man. Because I thought they were to do something like that with the Amity House. I honestly thought that they had done something like that, but there never really was a case about it, but not like this. And this right here, man, like it was a trip how they played it out. The fact that he was like tweaking out, and then his buddy, like, I'm laughing because I'm like, man, that motherfucker was so annoying. I'm surprised she didn't stab him. His wife didn't stab him.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's like, fix the stereo, dude. We're gonna get drunk. We're gonna drink a beer. I don't want people to think I'm alcoholic. Yeah, have a beer with me.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. And then the guy kind of loses it. That's when I guess like the possession like hits him really bad.
Mm-hmm. And see, and I really love the story how it went back and forth, and they tied a lot of loose ends in. But then they didn't forget about the past, which I thought was really cool about that. And the biggest twist for me was towards the ending. And this is why I think that I don't know if this is going to be the ending of the Conjuring franchise or not, because of the fact of when at the end of the movie, at the end of every Conjuring movie, you know what they do. They take
Yeah,
one possession, they put it in their collection, and they lock it down. But you see that there's a painting of Valak from Conjuring 2. You see, the spinning little music box toy. You see Annabelle in the corner, but you see all their other little props, and they're showing a lot of little winks to it. Like some they show a little bit more than others on the camera. And I'm thinking,
yeah.
okay, if this is the end, they would have zoomed in more onto it, but I doubt it. And I do feel like they're gonna probably do another few more, but I don't think they're gonna continue it with Vera Farmiga or Patrick Wilson. I think they might do prequels. They might do like when they're young, like really young, like because I think they started like in the '60s.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean that's my vibe getting off of it because if you think about it, what's the number one thing that kills all these franchises?
Too many sequels.
That and the fact that everybody wants to get paid.
Yeah, yeah, that's
you
true.
know, and it sucks because like everybody wants to get paid. They'll be on for a few sequels and then they cut them off, and that's what sucks. I mean, it's very rare that you see the same Jason other than what Kane Hodder.
Yeah, he was
Um,
on most of them.
yeah, and it has to be somebody that really loves the franchise. Um, not, I mean, it's unfortunate because this was the last movie that Lorraine Warren worked on before she passed away. And that was the reason why I think Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson stayed on was because she was the consultant and said like, "Oh, this is what really happened." Blah 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 blah. Now that she's not around, I don't know if they're going to carry on the franchise. What do you think?
Uh, I'm not sure about the Conjuring, but I do know there will be more Conjuring universe films coming.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. My mind blown right now. I completely forgot.
Yeah, it was just announced the other day that the official Crooked Man is under production.
No shit. So they're going through with it still. Oh hell yeah! I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
so,
can't
or it's
wait.
either in pre-production or whatever. But yeah, the Crooked Man is like being made, so I can't wait to see that one.
Oh shit. That's gonna be a cool one to tie in because they don't need the Warrens for that one.
Not really, not because it probably just go on his backstory somewhere how they did like the Nun.
Oh shit! And then leads up to Conjuring 2 and how that all came about. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one because
Hell
he was a
yeah.
really creepy looking dude.
That's badass. I'm hoping they do something good with that one. I know the Nun 2 was in the works before COVID was announced and COVID happened and all that. I don't know if
Yeah,
they're still going to do that one. I know Annabelle. I think they've taken Annabelle as far as they could at this point. The only way that they bring Annabelle back, I mean, actually, you can't even bring Annabelle back because yet Annabelle comes home. I was gonna say
yeah, it'd
like,
have to be like something after that in the future. If something else happens with her, but they pretty
yeah,
much told the story of that of on Annabelle.
exactly. And I mean, if you think about every Conjuring film, it has a backstory that it leads to a sequel film. I don't think they're gonna bring out new characters in this one. What do you think? You think they'll probably bring out a new character from any of these, like from the lady that got possessed by the demon? like she was a witch. You think maybe that they might bring her story out? Because the thing that reminded me of a little bit of what's the Rob Zombie film, Lords of Salem.
Yeah,
I think they might do like a Lords of Salem kind of style film and tell her side of the story that leads up to Conjuring 3.
they could. Yeah, they could always like basically tell you a lot more of her background and something about her because like I don't even know her name or anything other than she was like a satanic worshiper type lady. That's all I really know about her. But
Yeah,
yeah, it would be kind of cool to actually like learn more about her.
right? Because I was getting like the Lords of Salem vibe. They didn't say much about her other than that she followed the cult, and they never explained like the priest why he got into it. But then like later on, you picture it like, oh, his daughter was into it, so that's why he got into it to try to stop her. And this, the craziest thing. Spoiler alert, kids. It's in the script, but she fucking kills her dad with a butter knife. I was like, what the fuck? It wasn't just your plain old steak knife. It was a butter knife. So that was a brutal death scene right there, man. But I
Yeah, it's not
really,
an easy cut.
yeah, that's why I was like, oh hell, dude. But the way they did this story, I'm really impressed because it took them this long to kind of start bringing in the occult. And I know there's a huge fan base for the occult, whether they like it or not. And I think that's what's really cool is that they tied it in, and then the theme of it really kind of set itself apart with the devil made me do it, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But I mean, if they had to develop a new character out of this, it'd probably be the character of her story, how she got into the whole witchcraft. And then they got to continue on because that's what they did from the first and second one, second to the third one. I mean, I'm just going off of history and what they normally would do, but I mean,
yeah. Usually there's a spinoff for each one. Like you said, like the Conjuring had Annabelle,
mm-hmm,
Conjuring 2 had the Nun, and getting ready to have the Crooked Man also.
mm-hmm.
So it would only make sense that they'd have another spinoff from this one.
Exactly. So that's why I'm kind of thinking, well, is it the end? Is it not the end? Because I mean, it sucks, man. This is the last one of the franchise that we get to discuss about. At least, we're knock on wood.
Yeah, at least for now.
Yeah. We might come back with a part two with this and we describe the Crooked Man and all the other sequels that come out later on.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I've only like seen what I've read about the Crooked Man, and all it really says that it's in production.
I can't wait. And usually they don't mess around with that shit, man. They'll get it done within a year, get it dropped. I think with this film, do you think COVID ruined it, being pushed back a year later?
No, I don't think so. It still did really good in box office numbers, so I mean, it didn't really ruin anything. It just longer wait, just like the rest of the films we had to wait on. Halloween, Candyman, Scream, I think even got pushed back too. So just about
Yeah.
everything has gotten pushed back because of COVID.
Yeah. Well, the original date for this to be released was September 9th of 2020. And I'm thinking about it like that'd be cool for Halloween at that time. But when they released it, they basically just said, fuck it, let's just get it out there while we can. And I thought it was weird that they released it in June of all things. Like a horror film in June, you never see that happen?
Not usually, no.
Yeah.
Usually around October, but then also they do release a lot of movies in the summertime just because there's a lot of kids or college people that are on like break, I guess, and
Ah,
more people
okay.
going out and doing things in the summer.
Yeah. And I
Usually, you have a
mean,
lot of big blockbuster movies coming out in the summertime.
yeah, true, and they needed something to bring people in from COVID because, like I said, this is one of the first like 5 films that came out that you could see in theaters that were brand new. Because at that time, you were seeing movies that were like flashback flicks, like from the '80s and shit. That was the only way the
Yeah,
movie theaters could stand up. But
yeah.
when
Like I
this
went and
came
saw
out,
Jaws at the drive-in.
yeah, oh shit, that's right, you guys
That
got
was
drive-ins out there.
oh yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
cool to see Jaws on the big screen because I've never seen it in theaters until when COVID happened.
so it's good and bad with it. It's good and bad with it. That's cool. That's cool. But
Yeah,
I
they were
mean,
showing, like you said, like a lot of old '80s and there's old flicks, like all kinds of different ones because there was nothing new coming out, and they had to do something to have some kind of money coming in. And this,
yeah.
like, yeah, like the drive-in, it's a privately owned business, but pretty cool place though.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. So overall, what would you rate this one out of all the franchise? Now that we discussed all of them.
Um, hmm. out of all of them, I definitely put it after the other two Conjuring films. Um, Conjuring 2, I'd say, is the very best out of the entire franchise. This one, it's kind of hard to rate it like exactly because I put it after Annabelle Comes Home. It's not the worst. It's better than what was it? The original Annabelle. Above that for sure, but it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, I put it middle of the pack too, because of the fact of it didn't do enough to stand out like Conjuring 2, but it wasn't a shit show what it could have been
Yeah.
if they would have messed up the story. But I mean, for this one being the first one away from James Wan, and he was just kind of taking a backseat, it still was pretty cool. It wasn't a haunted house, but it was more or less a hex and a curse. But it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 if I was to rate it. But we've covered a lot of movies. It's hard for me to exactly say which one I put it around, but somewhere in the middle.
We had 9 in this franchise and shit. Oh man, but it was good times though.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to do something else again. Don't know what we're doing next time, but sure that if you want to check it out and stay up to date with everything here on the channel, just join our Facebook group for After Midnight.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna be checking that out.
What would you rate it?
Honestly, if I had to do like out of 10 or whatever, like I said, it'd be middle of the pack. It'd be a 6. It's not smack dab in the middle. It did really good, like storyline wise. It's just like I said, it didn't do enough to stand out from the pack. That's the only thing. So it's in the same boat as Annabelle Comes Home. The I wouldn't say the first Conjuring, but it'd be in the what was it, Annabelle 2, Annabelle Creation,
Yeah.
like the offspins, and it was really good because I mean the fact I think that for me what killed it was COVID. Like I was hyped up, and then all of a sudden it pushed it back for a year, and I was like, I don't care because there was all these other films that came out at the same time. But then when you actually sit down and watch it, it's like, oh, okay, now it pulled me back in.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's just not as fast paced as the other ones. This one's more of like a slow burn,
Yeah.
more I guess like story driven than like in your face like jump scares. So, I mean, besides for that, the little boy, I can't think of his name, but the one that was possessed in the beginning, that was like awesome.
Yeah. There
Other than that,
was
there's a whole lot of like in your face like jump scares and everything like the rest of them.
Well, there were some scenes that scared the shit out of me that you like you said they were slow burn. There was a scene where you see like the hands hanging on top of the shower curtain and it would be slow. You see the fingers move and shit. Um,
Yeah.
the shower with the blood or like the waterbed scene. That shit scared the shit out of me. I'm like thinking like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna get around no fucking waterbed no more. Hell no, dude.
Yeah, that scene was really good. The
Yeah.
water scene, the morgue scene, and then this one, because I mentioned it in the last episode about Elvis Presley, because in this one they had Elvis Presley's Suspicious Minds played.
Yeah.
I think the last one was Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Yeah.
I think is the one that was in the last one, but I thought it's kind of cool how they bring Elvis into both The Conjuring 2 and 3 and the love story between Ed and Lorraine. That was pretty cool to see too.
Yeah, it was cool how they did a lot of little winks to it. I mean, the soundtrack was pretty cool too. It fitted the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it sucks that this is the end of it, but I'm down for the next Conjuring films that they do, the spin-offs. It sucks, man. 9 films and it's still going. It's just the end for now.
Yeah, for right now. We'll have to see what happens. Never know because I mean, with as much money as they make off these movies, who knows? I mean,
They'll keep going.
yeah, I mean, there's always money to be made. They'll make more movies.
This is the horror version of the Avengers. Let's just leave it at that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get out of here. You want to go ahead and plug yourself before we get out of here?
Sure. As most of you all know from seeing me a couple of times, more than a couple of times here on Slinky's Liquor Pawn and Video, check out Saw Guy Podcast. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media stuff. I got new content that I'm working on. I'm hard at work and everything. I'm trying to, do so much at one point and then release it all for you. But a lot of good stuff coming out, so check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely check this stuff out. And I guess we'll just fuck it. Let's go watch a zombie movie.